left my feet beside the road. Hear you speak, won't let go. Fall to my knees as I lift my hands to pray.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Truth, Grace, Love, and I'm Juan. As some of you may know, this past weekend I was in Orlando at the International Pastors and Leaders Conference that Bishop T.D. Jakes was holding there. It was a truly amazing experience. It's the first Pastors and Leaders Conference that I've ever been to, and it was just a blessing. There was many speakers at this event, including John Hagee, Steve Furtick, of course, Bishop T.D. Jakes, people like Ty Trebet. I mean, it was truly jam-packed and full of men and women of God. It was a great experience. I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit of what I learned and what stuck with me during this weekend at the International Pastors and Leaders Conference. Honestly, I'll start with the negative. To me, the biggest thing that stood out was the amount of people that would show up late to a specific session. Number one, I think it's extremely disrespectful to be late. I understand it's a large room and a lot of people go unnoticed, but the amount of people that were showing up late was so large that I think that it was noticed when people would show up. And I'm not talking about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm talking about 15 minutes halfway through the event. I saw somebody come into a session about 45 minutes late, literally 5 minutes left to go in the session. I mean, I don't even understand why you would even show up. It was more of a distraction than anything else. And what surprises me is that people that are at this event are supposed to be either pastors or leaders, or at least aspiring to be. So to me, how would you expect people to follow you and respect your time and be on time to your services and to your events if you can't find it in your heart to do the same for others? I don't understand that. And the other thing that stuck was the amount of people that would leave early from sessions. Truly, I mean, it's not cheap to go to these conferences. You have to pay for your ticket in, you have to pay for a hotel or rent a car or an airplane. So you spend some money to go there to, number one, be late, and number two, to leave early. I don't even understand it. I just don't. And it's not like we were in, a 20,000 person stadium that when everybody leaving, it was going to be this mass exodus and traffic would be crazy. I mean, you're there for a 3-day event. You're either staying at a local hotel, so you're walking, or you're close and you might be driving. But either way, there was no more than 10,000, maybe 15,000 people at these events. So it wasn't like it would be this amazing thing that you're going to get an extra 5 minutes ahead of everybody. I mean, I would stay till the end, and I would get out of there and be on my way to my hotel within 5 minutes of getting up off my seat. So it was just extremely disrespectful, in my opinion. And even one of the sessions, Bishop T.D. Jakes called people out. He was closing his session, and he stopped and he said, "Out of all people, you pastors, you who call yourselves pastors and leaders, are leaving early?" And he was shocked. And he said, "You know what?" And he spoke to the ushers. He said, "You know what? Close the doors." And obviously, he didn't lock the doors. They were still able to open them. But he was making a point that how could you be so disrespectful that you're not even stopping to listen to him tell you that you're being disrespectful? So he said, "Close the doors." And even that didn't stop some people. How do you expect to be a leader? How do you expect to have people follow you in the right direction and do the right things and have the right values if you don't yourself? And Bishop T.D. Jakes said something important. It was he said that's the reason why we're doing so horribly in the body of Christ. That's the reason why people hate religion, is because it's an act. If you really love God and you're really there to receive, you're going to be there as soon as the session starts, and you're going to wait for everything to happen so that you can get as much as possible and learn and take that and bless your congregation or the people that you're leading. So to me, that was something that just kind of stuck in my head, and I know that I definitely learned from other people's mistakes. With that out of the way, everything else was amazing. From everything said, I was able to glean something. I was able to learn something. There was definitely a lot of substance, and you could tell that the Bishop T.D. Jakes at the Potter's House knows how to run an event, and they do it with excellence, and it was awesome. But the speakers, it was just a blessing. I mean, the standouts to me were John Hagee. Number one, he spoke to everyone about, he just gave everybody advice, basically. It was like 54 years of ministry all wrapped into into an hour, and it was just amazing to hear the things that he had to say, and to see how open he was. And one of the main things that he said that stuck with me was that the first person that you have to lead is yourself, because the type of leader that you are determines the type of followers that you have. You don't think about things like that, and that's pretty amazing to me. That shifted something in my mind. Not that I wouldn't want to be a good leader prior to that, but that you realize just and truly that you have to lead by example. You can't expect people to do as you say, and you not be and act in the way that you're expecting others to. That was huge. Bishop T.D. Jakes, I mean, every time that he talks, every time that man opens his mouth, he blesses you. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think that if I was to sit down and eat dinner with him, that he would find a way to turn the menu at the restaurant into some sort of a blessed sermon, because, it's amazing to hear. Even when he was just introducing people, he would drop diamonds of wisdom that it's just mind-blowing. The main things that stuck with me about him was he was very adamant about telling us that it doesn't matter how you start, that it matters how you finish, and not to despise, small beginnings. He showed us pictures and videos of his storefront church with 300 members, and obviously we see what he is now and what level of ministry he has now. And the other thing as well that I think it was an agenda that he had, was to make sure that you know that you have something different and special about you, and that God has a specific purpose and a specific thing that he wants to accomplish through you. And there's no reason to try to copy other ministers or copy other leaders and try to be the way they are just because they're really good at speaking, or just because they're really eloquent at putting speeches together, or because they can do something better than you can. And you sit there and you strive really hard to try to be like them because they do it really well. Meanwhile, you're completely ignoring what you do really well, what God put in your life to do really well. And that to me was something that maybe to other people is obvious, but to me it was just amazing to hear, because it is something that I struggle with, is specifically with even just talking and being on camera. This is really, really something that I'm not used to, that is not natural for me. And, every day I grow a little more, and every day I see his strength, perfecting my weakness. And that, hearing that from him, was amazing. And finally, Pastor Steve Furtick was amazing. He preached a message on connections and bridges, and not like electronic connections and like literal bridges like the Golden Gate, but like in essence that life is about connections, that leadership ministry is about connections and the bridges that you build, and how you lead other people, and how you build your team, and how they are connected. He definitely has a real special way of communicating to people and making it easy to learn. He also really pushed the fact that it doesn't matter that other people are really good at certain things, but that you specifically have something that God has put in your life to bless this world, that's going to make you stand out in the crowd, that's going to bless you, and that's going to bring him glory. And that you don't have to sit there and look at other people who are extremely successful in areas that you are weak in and be upset or jealous or try to copy and try to imitate that, but that there is something special in you that God has created that is going to change this world and impact this generation. And that's what you have to focus on. To hear these things, it was a blessing in my life, specifically now, because everything that's going on in my life is, as far as ministry is concerned, is in its infancy. And these are life lessons that it's taken them years to learn, and they are giving it to me in a weekend, And I'm not doing a good job of elaborating on the details of these messages. I'm just I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg with what I'm telling you, but these things were just an amazing blessing in my life, and I just wanted to share with you the main points that stuck with me this weekend. The other thing I want to do in this video is just let everybody know that I'm going to be switching my upload times from Wednesday to Saturdays. Well, I was doing Mondays and Wednesdays, but I'm going to do Saturdays only. I really want to have the week to generate real solid content and be able to, edit it correctly and do the things I want to do correctly so that I can present something that's excellent to you, something that is impactful and life-changing. And I'm not just putting up videos just to put up videos. I don't want to do that. Again, this was a really amazing weekend at the International Pastors and Leaders Conference. For any of you out there who are pastors or leaders or aspiring to be, I really think that it is crucial for you to attend one of these conferences. They already announced that next year's conference is going to be in Dallas, and I am so excited to go. Hopefully by next year, maybe I can get more backstage access and give you guys a lot more content other than just discussing it and telling you over the camera here. Either way, I hope this blessed you in some way or form. I want to remind you that Jesus loves you, that God is with you, that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. There is a purpose in your life, and never let anyone tell you that you're worth any less than the life of God himself. Push towards having a relationship with Jesus, not a religion, not just going to a building every Sunday or Wednesday or Friday night, not just listening to a sermon here and there or having an intermediary person that talks to God for you, but you can have a relationship with Jesus Christ yourself, and you can grow in that relationship and your life can be changed. I never want anybody who watches these videos to forget that, because that's happened in my life and I know it can happen in your life. If this blessed you in any way, please share, please subscribe for more content, and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Snapchat. All the information is in the description below. Once again, that's it. See you next time. Bye.
All I need is you. Oh, all I need is you, Lord. Is you, Lord. Keep me within your arms, in your eyes. Keep me. Oh, keep me within your arms, within your eyes. Keep me.